How's it going, people? I made this video to tell you about my awesome birthday experience at Genesis House NYC, an interactive car viewing and dining experience by the car brand Genesis that's only been around for about 7 months. My girlfriend totally surprised me. I didn't even know this was a thing, and she didn't tell me where we were going. We walked around the area, and I was surprised by the amount of Genesises I saw, but I still didn't catch on. We walked in, and we were immediately greeted by a representative by the name of Winston. He took us around and gave us a tour and said Genesis would reach out to me so I could test drive and review their lineup. They haven't contacted me yet because they were super occupied with the New York Auto Show, so I hope they hit me up soon and make good on the promise, but they've given me no reason to suggest that they won't. We got to look at the current lineup, which has since been switched out for the upcoming models. We got to see the G70 through 90 and the GV70 through 90. This one is equipped with their 3.5 turbo, which reviewers seem to be praising big time. And we even got to see the new GV60 EV, which is super sleek and futuristic and loaded with gimmicks, so I'm really excited to watch these hit the road. Their use of premium materials and overall build quality is impressive, and it's clear they have something to prove. I like that they're a forward-looking company, and oh my god, their marketing is working on me. As an automotive enthusiast, my tail starts wagging every time I see a button on a steering wheel labeled Boost. It reminds me of Hyundai's N-Grin Shift button, which essentially gives you more horsepower for a limited amount of time. After we checked out the cars, they brought us upstairs. At this point, I didn't know there was a dining aspect to this experience at all. First, they walked us through the restaurant and showed us the super modern library where they have automotive books and a diverse array of other books too. I leafed through a solid gold Genesis manifesto and a Genesis philosophy book inspired by Bentley, which is cool because they share a designer for works such as the GV70 and the Bentley Bentayga. And they sat us at our table by a window where we did some dope car watching and admired the street view. We got a 5-course prefix intended to emulate meals the Korean emperor would eat back in the day. They had an extensive whiskey list, which was just my luck. One of their cocktails had a Genesis House whiskey they make themselves as a component. I asked them if I could try the whiskey on its own because I typically drink whiskey neat. They informed me their whiskey is technically soju and that they don't usually offer it neat, but would happily accommodate. It was really good. Okay, now to get into the actual meal. Their menu's seasonal, so it's changed since I was there, but I gave them a ring to get my hands on the old menu and they emailed it over within 120 seconds. As mentioned, we went for the tasting menu, but they do offer an a la carte option.
What do you think? It looks really good.
They started us off with this traditional Korean deep-fried chips and jerky. The chips were really yummy, and they weren't prawn chips, I asked, because I do have some dietary restrictions, and the jerky was really good, melt in your mouth, and had a fantastic marinade to it.
Abalone scallop and snow crab. It's finished off with a pine nut sauce, so we suggest that you try the pine nut sauce on its own first, and then crack the poached egg and mix everything together and enjoy the dish like that.
They made a substitution for me that was a salad with bitter foam and savory mushrooms. Next, we had the big eye tuna with fish roe and cilantro, which reminded me of a refined poke on steroids, even though those are different cultures. Then we moved on to grilled wagyu with carrots, sunchokes, and chestnuts. This was straight up one of the best pieces of meat I've had in my entire life, and I'm born and raised in New York, so I do not say that lightly. Next up was their homemade tofu, which put all other tofu to shame. It still had that yummy soybean curd flavor and was earthy and natural. The rice was phenomenal, and you can really tell how good a restaurant is by their rice. It came with a savory, salty soy sauce to pair with it, and I can still taste it today. I'm low-key craving it right now. And there was lotus root chips and kimchi for the table. I can't eat kimchi anymore, but I miss it every day, so that was kind of sad face, but I'm glad she got to experience it. After this, they pulled up the soju cart, where they gave us the history of different brands and locations of each soju. They described each flavor profile to us and made recommendations. We chose wrong, but it's cool because they gave us a mulligan. Again, the service was superb. It was served with a neutral palate cleanser to end the main course. We got our drink on and then proceeded to dessert. We had pine nut custard and Shanghai tea sauce. The custard was sweet and creamy and the tea sauce was thick and bitter. It was a pretty decent execution of Western familiarity with Eastern flavors. I vouch. It also came with some cool cookies that we loved. Also, I'm 100% telling people that that was Tim Robinson, even though I'm pretty sure it's not. And then we had a tea course where we chose from a diverse menu of imported Korean tea leaves. They actually have the widest variety of tea in New York City. They offer a separate tea ceremony, but we went for the dining experience. They import all their handmade silverware and pottery straight from Korea. Even their placemats are pressed paper and each is one of a kind. Huge thank you to my girlfriend. I love her so much, and this was the best birthday yet. I'm very lucky to have a life partner that gets me and treats me so well and made this day so damn special for me. We asked if there was another floor, and they mentioned that there was an event space in the basement. We asked to see it, and they took us downstairs for a peek. It had an almost holographic vibe, and they mentioned that there would be a few 2023 models down there in the coming week, which I plan to go back and check out for sure. And now I gotta hit you with the shameless Genesis House plug, because this place was sick. Genesis is clearly pouring money into their marketing to reshape how Americans view them. They're competing in the luxury space as a non-legacy automaker, which is a difficult feat because they lack that brand association. Having said that, they're absolutely killing it when it comes to their cars, of which I'm a huge fan. Big ups, Genesis. Well, that was my experience at Genesis House NYC. It was a dope time, solid service, and some of the best food I've had to date. If you're a car enthusiast and a foodie, I strongly suggest you peep this joint. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on 10/10 Reviews. And Genesis, if you're watching, please shoot me an email because I'd love to do some reviews of your lineup.